I fare on that side. I think if you want to go do something, then go do it. And who gives a what people think?
With the way social media is, there's so much room for conversation already, and it's already in a negative manner.
You go to their profile and they have 20,000 subscribers and some famous person follows them, right? It makes you not want to address that person because you're like, well, his followers are going to agree with him or whatever.
I've only received, hell yeah, brother.
But that really bothers me that people would sit on someone trying to do something cool. I just think that's the lamest, most hater bullshit ever. Why don't you just be like, here's what I would make it do, and then just move on from there.
Honestly, I seriously think if I drove a 350Z Corvette, whatever, I wouldn't be sitting here. That's serious. I think that the car is definitely been helpful in kind of getting my name out there and grabbing attention. So, you know, as far as, yes, it's not a great chassis because you can't buy an angle kit for it. Actually, if you want a good chassis, just go look at Wise Fab or FDF. If they make a kit for it, then it's probably a good chassis.
Whichever one shows up in the top of the feed.
But I mean, if you're willing to go through it and work through it, I think it'll pay out. You know, I mean,
there is
a balance there.
I fare on that side. I think if you want to go do something, then go do it. And who gives a fuck what people think? But I'm telling y'all, there is a whole other side of that argument of people that think that, you know,
you're do it one way and it's the only way.
Yeah, you're ruining the culture of drifting because you're using a muscle car to drift. That people act like that, and they act like that about my car, which is an S13, because I have motorsports experience before this. I was like, dude, turbo LS would be perfect. It would be all the yeet. I have a pretty small turbo. I have all the throttle control. You know, like that is part of the reason that I was so down to do the podcast, because I was like, dude, I think we could do some real good out there for people who want to get into drifting, you know? Like, you don't have to do it the way that all these people who have, like...
With the way social media is, there's so much room for conversation already, and it's already in a negative manner on social media. So giving a platform like this to where you can have an actual discussion with people with actual opinions.
How many times have you people, like... wanted to respond to somebody who was like punching down on somebody else about, you know, the way they did something, and you go to their profile and they have 20,000 subscribers and some famous person follows them, right? It makes you not want to address that person because you're like, well, his followers are going to agree with him or whatever, you know? And so, okay, so then up until a couple weeks ago, I was kind of like that. Before I would like give my opinion on something, I would go check and make sure that this person is not a super famous person trying to shit on someone. And then then we got kind of a more following, and I was like, you know what? I don't care how many followers you have. Like, you can't talk to people like that or say shit like that. And so now it doesn't really matter. And if those, and I wanted to say this all day. It's been fucking bugging me. But part of the thing that makes me annoyed with that is like, dude, if you don't agree with that there's too much negativity in the car industry, then why are we growing so fast? If that industry doesn't have people who want to do it but are too scared because of people like you who are watching this but not subscribed, why?
Still about 50%, baby.
It is about 50%, you fucking ninjas.
Pick it up.
Why are we experiencing the level of growth? So either all of our subscribers hate us, which it's been harder for me to find hateful comments as of lately, or...
Let me drop some knowledge real quick. Yeah. Just so you guys understand, social media is played off of value. So as long as you are providing value, which this podcast does, because like you said, the conversation needs to be had, nobody's out there willing to have it. So with a platform, you are able to, and it actually becomes healthy and not just some bunch of bullshit
not
morons.
An echo chamber.
Yeah. In their mama's basement, typing on some keyboard thinking you're big and bad.
It makes me mad. It really, like, not to get all philosophical, but that really bothers me. Like, that people would like shit on someone trying to do something cool. I just think that's the lamest, most hater bullshit ever.
I've never received negativity. I've only received, hell yeah, brother. I'm telling you, I mean, do I know what somebody's saying in the other room? Of course not. But I've never, even at Import Alliance, at freaking Import Me, I had people coming up to me like, dude, this thing.
Did you watch the Barry Clapp episode?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I don't know. Is it in there? Is it in the episode when he's talking about his car?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So when I don't mean necessarily that, because obviously I love
Right. He says it's not a drift car. And it's not a drift car. It's a car we made drift.
But that's what I'm saying is that that I love Barry. I love you. I don't know if you actually watch these or if you just support us. But honestly, when he said that in the podcast, it made me more annoyed than when he shit on Forsberg. That's how mad it made me. I was like, why don't you just be like, here's what I would make it do, and then just move on from there. So like, I know that he is not somebody that's like that because obviously now he's one of your bigger supporters.
Right.
But there are other people that are on that side of the argument, and like, that kind of shit is just bugs me, bro.
That's fine, man. You know, when I first show up to any outside of event I call, you know, like first time I showed up at Lanier or Sports Drome or maybe even Knoxville, those guys pretty well knew me about then. I pull up and it was back when I had an open trailer and everybody's like, dude, the dirt race next week, like, are you drifting that? And I'll go out there and I'll rip, and then suddenly everybody's like,
yeah, show them what's up.
Holy crap.
Right.
Like, that thing drifts, you know? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's taken a lot of seat time, a lot of hard work. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. But that's not the point.
Look, if anybody wants to get in one of these old school cars, just hit me up. I will help you with the angle kit. I will tell you how to do it. Am I saying, hey, we all need to go drift old school cars? No.
You don't know how many people you're talking to, right?
Really?
Yeah, that's a lot of people, man.
I mean, if you
combine every platform together,
driving car, okay,
it's over 160,000 people. If you combine every single platform.
If you're actively trying to drift an old school car, I don't mind answering your questions because
there you go.
Well, that leads me into my next question.
Yeah.
Do you see in the future people starting to gravitate towards these oddball builds?
No, and I think this goes back to a conversation me and Wes Cladd have. Me and him talk a ton. That an average person cannot fabricate.
Right.
Can't fabricate like that. Mm-hmm. They can't just cut a lower control arm, extend it 3 inches, and feel like it's safe.
Are your control arms iron?
Yeah.
Did you have to heat them up?
No, I don't know. My dad's the fabricator in this team here.
Okay. All right.
I mean, like if he tells me to cut this,
here's the welder. Get to work.
Look, man, I've tried.
We had to do that on ours, and they sank it in sand, and I was just like, I was like, I don't know, man, I can barely weld. You know?
No, they're steel. They are steel.
Okay, steel.
So you can straight up just weld them.
All right.
Yeah, if I could redo my kit, man, it'd be so much better.
Really?
I know more now. You know, I've got more experience. I know.
What would you change exactly?
Probably just the steering arms, really. Just steering arms. Would probably actually extend it 4 inches.
As opposed to
3 inches now.
Okay.
I mean, and I think one of my biggest problems right now is I'm running a stock Corvette wheel, so I have to run like a massive spacer because I don't have the correct offset wheels, and quite frankly, it's like, well, they work. Why change it? You know, okay, I got a big old spacer.
Because if you don't have real wheels, then go fuck someone. Well, fuck you.